experience. Your insurance is done in-house.
Yep.
Your mortgages are done in-house. Your investments are done in-house. Your accounting's even going to be done in-house. You just talk to one company and everything is handled for you.
Okay, awesome. Rahul.
We're ready. Welcome back.
Welcome back. We've got an awesome guest today. We've got Gurtej Varn from White Coat Financial. Gurtej, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So, Gurtej, we're just going to jump right into it. Can you tell us exactly what White Coat Financial is?
So in simplest terms, it's a full service financial planning firm designed specifically for Canadian doctors. And even to take it a step further, Canadian doctors usually under 40. I like working with guys who are like early career to sort of mid-career. I don't like working so much with retirees, more so people who are just building their actual financial base.
That's awesome. So we actually met through doing insurances. I actually approached you through one of my other friends, and he said, I've got an insurance guy. This guy's going to be perfect for you. He deals with high net worth clients, essentially. And then when I dug in a little bit deeper and I started talking to you, you're like, I only deal with doctors. And I said, how do you niche into that? Because most insurance people that I know, they're out there trying to get the entire pie.
Yeah.
Right? And then what you've done is you've actually gone in for the sliver. You've booked yourself from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. based on your schedule. And you're booked like day and night, and you're dealing with people that are making hundreds of thousands of dollars. How do you cut in, or how did you get into the idea of don't chase the masses, just dive right into the niche?
Yeah, so I'd say it's like kind of twofold. In my goal always was to go Canada wide with my clients. And by going obviously very wide in the country, then you can actually narrow down who you work with ideally. So the fear leading into COVID was, you know, I only have access to BC. People are doing everything in person still. And COVID was honestly just a blessing in disguise, where it took my 10-year business plan and turned it into a 10-month plan.
Wow.
Because now I could go Canada wide. I don't need a brick and mortar location in every single province. Right. And it was like during that time that I looked at my existing book of clients. Yeah. And I was like, all right, who am I servicing the best? Who are most of my clients? And most of them were already in that healthcare sort of field. But we're talking all kinds of like healthcare practitioners, physios, chiros, massage therapists, nurses, doctors, dentists. It was just healthcare as a whole. That was probably like 50% of my clients, because everything's referral based. Right. And then I thought, you know what? If I can now go Canada wide, I can actually narrow down to who I want to work with. And that's when I started with healthcare professionals. And then it went to like doctors. And in the future, it's very foreseeable we might tighten it down even further from just doctors to a very specific type of doctor. Because there's so many. Yeah, because if you think about it, there's general practitioners, there's surgeons, there's ophthalmologists, there's optometrists, there's dentists, there's so many different types of doctors. Going forward, we're probably going to narrow it down even further to a very specific type of doctor. But on a broad level, what really made me narrow down is, we talked about it a little bit offline, I'm very competitive. And I tell everyone, I even tell my clients, I was like, I want to be the best. That's my goal, is to be the best advisor in Canada. And I can only do that if I'm dealing with a very specific type of person. Yeah. So the only way I can become the best is by, knowing your problems inside and out, knowing not just your financial problems, but what happens in your life, what sort of life stages do you go to, what's your personality like? Like imagine, most realtors, you guys are all very different, but in a lot of ways, very, very similar. Type A, sales driven. You all have very similar problems of very high cash flows in good years, very low cash flow in bad years, but your expenses stay the same. So I can only know someone very well if I specialize in that area, and that's the only way I can be the best. So that's what made me sort of niche down into that. So you're
pretty much a surgeon in your own category of insurances. That's amazing.
Yeah, but that's it. I'm glad you mentioned just the insurances, because the goal was, if I can go very specific on who I help, so narrow on who I help, but wide on the services, I'm going to create a business where my clients essentially have like just the best experience. Your insurance is done in-house, your mortgages are done in-house, your investments are done in-house, your accounting's even going to be done in-house. You just talk to one company and everything is handled for you. Hence, trying to be the best of. Most people are just doing the one thing and dealing with everyone, whereas I decided to flip the switch of, I'm going to do everything for this one type of person.
Did that happen by accident, or was this intentional?
A lot intentional, but a lot of things did end up like kind of falling in place, like COVID. Who could have predicted that? The goal always was to go Canada wide and work with a very specific person. But in my head, that was going to take 10 years. I would need a brick and mortar location in, all the provinces. And then, COVID happened. And
so outside of the expertise of working with a specific genre, or I guess a specific area of people, is there anything else that separates you from the other insurance brokers or the brick and mortar? Because I know a lot of your work is just over the phone, phone or through Zoom calls. You rarely leave your house unless, why would you need to leave your house? Because you're just going to give them something.
Unless they want to see you.
Unless they want to see you, right?
But then it's usually a social call. We're not talking about finances. We're meeting for dinner or coffee on a more social level.
Do you see that there are people that are old school that would rather see you in person?
My clients are all under 40. Under 45. They all use Zoom.
They don't want to.
By design.
There are clients who don't even want to see you. They would actually prefer Zoom calls or video calls.
They're having a glass of wine. Their kids are running around in the background. They just finished a long day at the clinic.
Right.
They don't want to have to drive to my office, get a babysitter for the kids or drop the kids off or get the kids ready to bring to my office. Right. They sit at home. They're wearing their shorts and a t-shirt. They got a glass of wine. And now we're having a conversation about what they need to talk about. And they got half the time we're doing like insurance applications. And like, you could throw on Netflix in the back and then ask you some basic questions about your health. Or, hey, we're going to run your mortgage numbers. Throw on Netflix in the back, wash your dishes, load up your dishwasher while we're chatting. Right. And they're like, great, now I don't have to take time out of my day to, have this extra conversation.
How'd you step into insurances? That's what I want to know.
So
I want to know the barrier of entry to get in for a lot of our listeners. Like, I got a lot of young crowd that I work with in their 30s and their 40s. So do you. Very entrepreneurial, very business mindset. They don't want to work for the man. They don't want to work for a company. They want to open up something for themselves to create a legacy or something generational. You are doing something for yourself based on our conversations and helping some of our clients out for insurances. So what can you say to that for getting in and breaking in to your industry and trying to create success?
So I would say, like, obviously with mortgages, investing and insurance, those are three separate industries if you really want to. I decided to do all three, hence all the gray hairs. But I started out at the bank, and if you wanted to go, like, let's say, because I started out as an investment guy, I never did insurances up front. I was only that's all I did was investments. And then I did mortgages, and then I went back to investments, and then I did insurance. And then I slowly added mortgages and investments back in when I went private. But if you wanted to dive down each one of those roads, like if you wanted to go down the investment route, you usually start out at a bank, learn the, the craft, get your expertise in, get your education in. That's key. Most people, you're gonna sort of resonate with this. To become a realtor, all you got to do is do that one course, right?
Yeah, so that's $1,500.
Exactly, and that's it. And technically, you're in. And what distinguishes realtors is how good are they at their job, how much experience do they have, etc. In finances, we have the same thing. What distinguishes you is how many reps do you have, who are your clients, what market cycles have you seen, etc. But we're lucky enough that we do have certain designations that you can go and get to show your clients that I'm educated, I know what I'm doing. But I'll say this as well. I've said it to clients, just because I have all these designations doesn't mean I'm really smart. That means I can pass a test well. But what it does tell you is I'm committed enough to your experience that I'm going to sacrifice study so that you feel peace of mind that hey, this guy at least has the education.
Right.
You can take me at face value. If he's got his education, he's got the experience, it helps you sleep better at night. So I'll stay up all night studying so that you can sleep better at night. That's why I have all the designations that I do.
Right.
But if you go down the sort of investment road, you start out at a bank, you get either your CFA, which is like a chartered financial analyst.
Yep.
That's more of a worldwide designation.
What's the time frame to get that finished?
Depends. If you're a rock star, you do it in like 2-3 years. Other guys might take 5-6 years. I've seen some guys.
Thank you.
I actually didn't go and do that designation on purpose. Because that one is more so to be an analyst on stock market investing.
Right.
Then there's the CIM, the Chartered Investment Manager. That one's a Canadian-based designation to become a portfolio manager to manage people's investments. That's the one I'm getting right now. I'll be done by the end of the year. Right. But the reason I didn't do the CFA was because I don't believe in picking stocks.
Right.
There's so many studies out there. It's Nobel Prize winning research, the efficient market hypothesis, that you could take the smartest guys in the world, the top hedge fund managers, and they'll do no better than a monkey throwing darts at a board picking stocks. And that's no diss to the stock managers. It's just you don't know the future. And if you did, you wouldn't even need to manage outside money. You'd take your $5 and double it every year, and you'd be, the richest person in the world. So that's, and then, that's the designation side. And then if you wanted to go, you start your own business, you could either do that at a bank in like a wealth management firm, or you could start your own firm and do that on your own, like I've done. That's the investment side. Then mortgage side is you become a mortgage broker, and then you either join DLC or Verico or whoever. It's pretty straightforward. I think most people know that route. And then on the insurance side, it's the exact same thing. You get your insurance license, which is extremely easy to get.
It is.
It's even easier than the real estate license. My mom barely knows how to turn on a computer.
Yep.
That woman could get her insurance license within a month.
Yeah.
I love her to death, but she can get it within a month. So that tells you how low the bar is of how...
So barrier of entry is very simple.
The barrier of entry is zero.
And is there a cap to how much money you can make per month?
No cap.
Per year?
No cap.
It's unlimited.
It's unlimited. And so that's another thing with insurance is...
So you don't need to know how to use a computer, barely know how to speak
English.
Speak the English. You just got to be proficient to write the exam. And you can make hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars.
Easily. Yeah.
So would you say it's like a people business?
It is. And I'll say this, to make the good money, you actually have to know what you're doing. Of course. You have to be educated. So like, for example, with the insurance side, you can go and get your CLU, which I have, which is a chartered life underwriter, and there's certified health insurance specialist. There's all these designations that you can go and get, or a certified financial planner. Right. That'll help give you some more credibility, because really to make the big money in insurance, you have to be dealing with a very specific, sophisticated, wealthy type of client.
Right.
Because rich people buy insurance not because they buy insurance for like the people that they care about. They buy insurance for tax reasons.
Right.
Yes. The people who have big tax problems need big insurance.
Right. That's very interesting. And the only reason why I talk about barrier of entry for young people just like us trying to get into any type of industry, a lot of educated kids, they think that they need so much to get into something that's so small or something so niche and is so difficult. And here we are, we're making mistake after mistake after mistake, and that's actually getting us the most benefit and most profit. And we're building the biggest networks that I know within our own community, and it's amazing, right?
Yeah.